In the next scene, we see Tu in the hot spring, with a servant cleaning him. The servant remarks, Tu, you have become stronger during this past year. Tu replies, laughing, haha, the credit goes to your medicinal liquor, Grandpa Xingxian. The servant nods and says, all right, I have finished cleaning you. You can go and get some rest. Tu responds, you too. I am going to go and read some books again. Tu heads to the secret room and opens the box containing 28 books on hidden martial art techniques. As he looks through the books, he thinks to himself, I can recite all of them off by heart. He picks up one book, the Book of Ji Long. Reading a chapter titled, Nei Jing, he learns that it's a disease where his dantian denies his body's strength. Determined, he sits in a meditative posture, thinking, let me give it a try. Come, don't fail me now, internal strength. Energy leaks out from his body as he muses, even though most of my internal strength fell apart, my muscles have absorbed the rest of it. Exclaiming in joy, he realizes, this is awesome. I can become even stronger now. He recalls that the technique was discovered by Qin Yu by chance, motivating him to keep practicing until he can exert himself fully. Transitioning to Hill Mansion, Tu rides a horse, accompanied by a soldier who addresses him as the third prince. Tu requests, Big brother, help me hold down the horse. The soldier agrees, and Tu jumps from the horse, landing swiftly on the floor. A servant acknowledges his return, prompting Tu to respond, Housekeeper Jie, I have come here to choose a weapon. Housekeeper Jie inquires about his stay duration, to which Tu replies, I will leave once I get the item. I also need a black iron battle blade and a ragdoll. Curious about the ragdoll, Housekeeper Jie asks, a ragdoll? Tu confirms, yes, there should be a red flower on the top of the doll's head. Expressing gratitude, Tu thanks Housekeeper Jie for going through the trouble, who then goes to find the required items. Tu reflects, he does think I want to play with the ragdoll, right? Entering the weapon hall, Tu realizes that none of the weapons suit him. Remembering Grand Lian's advice about preferring close combat, he finds a box containing a small dagger concealed in the belly of a Yuchang sword. Knowing that this dagger killed the king of Wu, Tu picks it up, declaring, this is the weapon I choose. The scene switches towards the village, where we see a little girl saying to her elder brother, who brought food for his brother in the field, Big brother, please take a break. She mentions Tu, saying, Brother Yu hasn't come back. Her brother replied, don't worry, Xiao Lu. Little Yi hardly goes back, so it's normal to stay there for quite a while. She replied, I really want to get a ragdoll quickly. He replied, I am also looking forward to my black iron battle blade. We see many horses running towards them. The little girl asks, is that Brother Yu? Her brother, with fear, replied, this isn't good. Xiao Lu, hurry up, hurry, and escape. These are the bandits. We see one of the villagers shouting, grab your weapons. One of the bandits says to his companions, charge, my brothers. They start attacking the villagers. One of the bandits heads towards the brother and sister, who were friends of Tu. Their father warned them about the danger, Shan, Xiao Lu, be careful. The little girl, afraid, calls for her dad. One of the bandits approached them and slashed a brutal strike on them. In order to save his little sister, her brother bore the slash on his back, and they both fell unconscious. Their father, in rage, rushed the enemy upon seeing his children injured. I'll go against you. He yelled as he killed the bandits furiously. One of the bandits on horseback approached him from behind. Some of his companions shouted, Old Iron, be careful. They're behind you. We see Tu, who was on his way back. He said, Xiao Hei, the sky's about to change. Huh? I'd better go and find Shan and Xiao Lu as quickly as possible. Then the scene switches to the village, where the father of the children was brutally injured by the leader of the bandits. He said, if you kill my brothers, you will meet this kind of end. Then we see villagers who are afraid of the bandits. The leader of the bandits charged on the village and commanded his subordinates, get rid of this village. In the next scene, we see Tu arrive amidst the chaos of villagers and bandits. Tu kicks one of the bandits in the face who was going to attack. The villagers were amazed to see Tu there. He stood in front of dozens of bandits. The bandit leader asked, where did this kid come from? Then he sees a little girl and her brother who were severely injured. He rushes towards them. We see one of the girl's arms was cut off. Tu checks the condition and says, the bleeding has stopped, but the arm. Thank God they are still alive. He stands toward the bandits in anger and says, "You bastards." Then we see one of the bandits rush toward him, pointing his weapon at him, saying, "Meet my knife, you brat." Tu dodges his attack and gives him an elbow strike on his abdomen, knocking him out. He stands as a shield in front of the bandits, saying, "You bastards. I will teach you guys a lesson." Bandits rush toward him and attack him. Tu dodges one of the brutal strikes with great potential. He grabs his hand and slaps him with full power. Another bandit with 2 knives rushes at him. Tu kicks him in the face, knocking both out. The leader of the bandits saw the talented boy knocking his companions. When they saw they cannot do anything individually, they shouted, "Attack him together." They attacked together, but their determination was nothing in front of Tu. He was killing them like a killing machine. He landed all his punches on the bandits. We see he killed all the bandits in a matter of seconds. The leader was also amazed by Tu's skills. We see one of the bandits who was too afraid of Tu started running opposite to Tu to save his life, but the bandit leader slashed at him and killed him. Tu was amazed to see the leader killing his subordinates. Tu said, he went so far as to kill his own comrade. The leader said to Tu that his skills weren't bad. He offered him to join hands with him, saying, "We both together can dominate the green forest." Tu said in rage, "In your dreams," and attacked the leader of the bandits. The leader blocked his attack and laughed at him. Tu was surprised by the way he blocked his blow. The leader slashed at him, but Tu dodges it. Then the bandit leader started dozens of slashes at Tu, but Tu dodges each slash with a lot of effort. The leader then slashed with brute power. Tu jumps back with higher flexibility. The leader laughed and said, "Haha, brat's pretty flexible." Tu thinks, "I can't continue like this. He can't be invincible forever." That's right. Then he watches at his wrist and thinks, the hand in which he is holding the sword, I can break his wrist. He just wants to wait for a chance. The bandit leader jumps at him and slashes again. This time, Tu got a chance and grabs his wrist and punches it. Then he realizes something, and the bandit laughed. The bandit slashed at him again, throwing Tu away from him. Villagers worriedly shouted, "Chin boy, we'll come and help you." We see Jae, who is a bird companion of Tu, watching this scene while sitting on the roof of the house. Then the scene switches to Tu, who was sitting. The bandit leader rushed at him to deliver an ending blow, but Tu dodges the attack with great agility and kicks him in the back. The bandit leader abuses Tu and says, "I am going to have some fun with you," while putting his blade back. Tu thought how loathsome he even sheathed his blade. Tu recalls once the General Zhao told him, "A blade I have one as well. If you have a strong body, you are still no match against a blade." While thinking, the bandit attacks him. However, Tu managed to dodge the sudden attack. The bandit grabs Tu from the collar and picks him up. While he was grabbing the collar, Tu shouted to his bird companion, Jae. The bird, on command, attacked the bandit's eye, and this attack was successful. In pain, the bandit shouted, "My eye." Tu praised his bird, saying, "You have done a good job." Tu didn't give any chance and punched the bandit's face, giving a great uppercut. He took his dagger out and slashed at the bandit's throat. Finally, the leader met his companions in hell. The villagers in joy shouted, "The horse thief is killed." Tu sighed, "I have killed many people, and I have won. No, they've hurt the people here, they injured my friends." He was saying this because he had killed people for the first time. But he got the lesson that punishing the evil and praising the good deeds is the way of those who practice martial arts. The matter becomes one's duty to uphold. 3 years later, we see a street. We see a person pleading to someone in a mask, "Who are you and why do you want to kill me?" The person in the mask says, "I am Heavenly Net Silver Card Assassin, Lu Xing." Then we hear a scream and the environment stabilizes. We see a person who was in a mask, it was Tu. He has joined the assassin organization and works there under a different name. He taunts the dead person, "Ah, it's the end for you, fiends." The scene switches, and we see Tu riding on the back of his bird companion. He said to his bird companion, "Justice isn't all bad. I can eradicate the criminals and practice my skills at the same time." Then the author tells us about the organization of Heavenly Net. It is a mysterious organization of bounty hunters hailing from the continent of Qianlong. The group has a history of over 1,000 years and gathers experts from far and wide. There are multiple types of people to choose from in the list of missions, but Tu only picks criminals. They reach their destination, and Tu orders his companion, Jae-hye, from the air, Jae-hye, play first. I will go down by myself. He jumps from the bird to the mansion. We see a little girl and her brother also there. Then the author tells us that ever since the incident with the bandits 3 years ago, the brother and sister pair of Da Shan and Xiaolu followed Qin Yu to the villa where they are both taught by Grandpa Lien. The little girl shouted, "Wow, big brother Yu has come back." Tu said to his brother and little sister, "Oh, you guys are here." The little sister said to Tu, "Big brother Yu, do you have the letter? I will give it to you." Brother Shan asked Tu a question awkwardly, "Big brother, could you please help look at the meaning of this sentence?" The little sister shouted from the back, "Big brother Yu, look at this." She rushed towards Tu, knocking his sibling aside, and said, "Big brother Yu, look at the letter first." Tu said, "Okay." While Xiaolu asks his brother, "Bro, why are you still sitting down on the ground? Do you think you are still at the field?" Brother replied annoyingly, "Weren't you the one who pushed me? You are even disturbing me instead of helping. Do you not want your brother anymore?" Tu chuckles, "If Xiaolu had both of her hands, she would be a martial artist." Then Tu opens the letter and reads it. It was the letter from his father. He, in joy, reads its content. The letter says, "I want to hold a magnificent ceremony of adulthood for you in the intra-city. During this time, you will be acquainted with some of the officials from the state of Chu. In the evening, during our father and son get-together, there are some things that I will let you know." Then the scene switches to the ceremony. We see Tu who, in respect, stands for his father. We see his other brothers also there. Father says to Tu and his brothers to sit down. Tu said to himself that his father tried to pretend that he was tipsy from the alcohol. His father asked Tu, "Don't you find it weird how I quickly sobered up?" One of the officials said that Tu should enjoy the fun while it lasts because in the midst of all these people, their enemy is here. Tu, in shock, asked, "Enemy?" His father replied, "Today you have become an adult, so this is the perfect time for you to learn about these matters." Then the father tells Tu that the Qin clan wields the 3 eastern region counties of the Chu kingdom, southern region's Mu clan, northern region's Shangguan clan, and the imperial clan of the west region. The entire continent of the Qianlong also has the 2 kingdoms of Main and Han and the boundless Honghuang. There was only one dynasty that had unified this continent, and that is the Qin dynasty. "We are the direct descendants of King Qin," Tu replied in awe. But his father continues, "In order to prevent being killed or ancestors changed our surname to Qin. Also, remember our history. The one who destroyed my Qin dynasty was a culprit named Xian Yu. His offspring was also the emperor who is present today. He was the one who forced your mother to die." In the next scene, it was night. We see Tu training martial arts in his training area, the sound of his punches echoing. Tu brutally punches a bag, thinking about what his father told him in the ceremony. He said, "Shangguang, scumbag." Tu was angry because Shangguang was the cause of his mother's death. Scenes from the previous day's ceremony flashback, when Tu learned about the killer of his mother. He became mad and told his father, "I will go and kill him myself." His father replied in anger, "What nonsense. Do you even know how many innate expertise Guang holds? He has 100,000 people marching to battle to destroy our clan. What can a little boy like you, who is just practicing martial arts, do to him?" Tu replied, "I have already lost my mother. I don't want to lose any of you." His father left the ceremony, saying, "The revenge has been planned step by step." Now the scene shifts to Tu, who recalls his father's words, "I am just a little boy who knows a bit of martial arts." In rage, he punches the bag very hard until it blows up, leaving him exhausted. He lays down and says to himself, "I really am useless. I am not proficient in government affairs, nor can I command troops. I can only do half of martial arts practice." While looking at the sky, he asks himself, "When can I get revenge?" Suddenly, he sees something from the sky, like a star approaching him. Shocked, he says, "That star." It lands near him and explodes. He says, "Huh, is it gone?" We see a light in his training area emitted by the shooting star that hit near him. He goes near it and asks, "What is that?" Excitedly, he says, "There is something there." We see a meteor-like tear-shaped object. He names it, Meteor Tear, and asks, "Other than being pretty, what else can you do?" "I'll just make you a necklace for my little sister." The meteor tear disappears into dust and enters TU's body as energy. TU is surprised by this turn of events and asks himself, is it gone? How? The scene switches, and we see chains imprisoning a person. He says, release me. I, Xing Guang, am the majesty of the state of Chu. Then, in front of him, a person in black appears, holding a knife and threateningly says, I am your savior. Xing Guang shouts, no. Then we see he was having a bad dream. He wakes up in fear, and his concubine asks him, what is wrong, your majesty? He wakes up, tells a servant to change his clothes, and orders, someone come and change my clothes. Then we see Xing Guang standing. A servant approaches him and asks, your majesty, perhaps the cause of the disturbance was due to the falling meteor over at the 3 East counties. Xing Guang asks in a questioning tone, the East 3 counties. Then he orders his servant, leave for East 3 counties immediately and ascertain news on Chinda. Give orders to Yong Li's fools to return. The servant replies affirmatively. Then he thinks about Chinda, sooner or later, I will seize hold of you and get rid of you. The scene switches to Hill Mansion, where TU is lying down and thinking, it's weird. Usually after exercising, I lie down and fall asleep, but I don't feel tired at all today. Then he thinks, could it be because of the meteor tear that entered my body? Then he remembers, once Grandpa Lien told me there are several celestial grade artifacts that fuse with the body. I don't feel so fatigued anymore. Is this the work of the meteor tear? Then he thinks of absorbing some internal energy and starts practicing the Zulong technique. Miraculously, he starts gathering internal energy but feels pain, saying, my body is burning. He calms himself and starts sweating, leaving the meditation posture. If you like this manhwa, give it a like and also suggest us the manhwa which you would like me to explain. Don't forget to subscribe the channel and hit the bell icon. Thanks for your